Hello and welcome to video 3 of this video series, The Fundamentals of Unreal Engine 5. In this video, we're going to look at how we can create objects and then how we can manipulate them. So with that being said, let's get started. So if you've opened up your Unreal project and it doesn't look like the one I have here, maybe you have the default mountains. We're going to go to File, New Level, and we want to choose this one here that says Basic, and we're going to click Create. So in order to create something in Unreal, we click the cube and plus icon right here on the top. Click this, and then a flyout menu will appear, and here is where we can choose what kind of things that we want to create. We can create basic, so these are the simplest things that we might want to create more very often. We can create lights, shapes, cinematics, medium plates, visual effects, geometry, volumes, everything, and so on and so forth. You can play around with these different options, but today we're going to focus on this one that says shapes. So these are the most basic shapes that we can create in Unreal. We can create a cube, and I'm going to move this into position. And we can create, let's say, we'll go with a cone or a cylinder, yes. So there are different shapes that we can create, and we're going to be using these ones today to demonstrate the tools. So the first thing is, how do we select an object? Well, right here on the top left, we have the select tool. And if we click on an object, we can see that it is highlighted in yellow. It has an outline here of yellow. No matter what we select, we're going to see that outline. The next one is the move tool. If we click on this and we have an object selected, we can move this in the XYZ axis by simply clicking on the arrows related to that particular axis, like so. If we click between two axes, we can move the object along those two axes at the same time. The next tool is the rotational tool. If we click on this, we can rotate our object like this. So we simply click on one of these arcs and we can rotate it along that axis. And the next one is the scale tool. If we click on this, we can scale in the X, Y, and Z. Very similar to our move tool. And if we click between two axes, just like before, we can scale along those two axes at the same time. Now, shortcuts here, we can press W for select key. Q for select key, W for the move key, E for the rotational key, R for the scale key. The most common way to cycle through these is to press the spacebar button, and this will allow us to quickly cycle between the move, rotate, and scale. Notice that it does not cycle through to the select option, so that you have to press the Q key. Great. Okay, so next to that, we have the way in which this object is being transformed. So by default, it's going to be set to world, which means that if we were to move this object, it's moved relative to the world location. So wherever it is inside of the world. This can be seen here on the right-hand side under the details panel. We can see that the current location is as follows. If we click the arrow, we can set this to be 0, 0, 0, and this will place us in the center of the world. So every time we move this object, you can see that the location updates here in XYZ. This is the world location where the 0 position is here. Now, if we were to rotate this, like so, and then we went back to the move tool, we can see that we're moving this in the world location. Now, it may be that we need to move this in its local rotation. So we've just rotated it. We want to move it, instead of moving it up in the world, we might want to move it up in its rotational direction. So to do that, we click this, and now we can move this based on the local location, rotation, and scale of the object. So as we cycle through these, you can see that now it's now based on the local um, coordinates. So we're going to set this back to world. And then if I click the arrow here on both of these, it will then reset this back to the center of the world. Okay, next is if we click this magnetic icon tool, we can see that there are some options for snapping and how our objects are going to snap. By default, they're going to snap based on location, rotation, and scale. Sometimes you might want to have it move or snap to a surface or to the vertex of an object. And because surface is another common one, the next button right here is a quick access to that tool. By clicking this, it means that when we select an object and we move it towards another object, it's going to snap on its surface. Notice that this is based on the pivot point location. So if the pivot point of your object, let's say for example, you input an object and the pivot point is at the bottom of the object, it means that we can now snap it as if it's sitting on top of another object. And then next to that, we have an offset. So here we have the surface offset. Maybe we set this to be 100. And as we move this again, you can see it's now offsetted by 100 units. I'm going to set this back to 0. And let's place this into the 0, 0, 0 of the world location. So these are some options that you can play around with. You might want to snap to vertex, actor, sockets when you get into more advanced things like rigs, and so on and so forth. Now, the next three, these are very common. So the first one is the snapping based on the grid. So the grid are these small squares here. And as I move the object, you can see it's snapping to each one of these very small squares. Now, if we click the drop down, we can increase or decrease the size of these squares. So if we set this to be 1, for example, it gets very, very small. And as we move, it's almost very smooth. And if we increase this to, let's say, 50, you can see that the grid gets much larger and we have the distance that it moves when we move it is greater. We can also turn this off and then we can have no snapping. Additionally, because we can see the grid, if we press the G key, we can also hide the grid. So the G key takes it from the editor mode into the game mode, which shows you what it looks like inside the game. The next one is to deal with rotational snapping. So right now it's snapping in increments of 10. So as I press the spacebar key to select the rotation tool, we can see that it's incrementing in rotational values of 10. Again, we can increase this or decrease this by clicking on the drop down next to it. Maybe we want to have this rotate by 45 degrees. So if you do something like this, or we can simply turn it off and have no snapping value. The final snapping is for the scale. So as I press the spacebar key again and we move to the scale options, you can now see we can scale this and it's being snapped to almost like it's being snapped to the grid within the first snapping option, but this time it's just snapping based on its scale. So we can snap this out by 0.5 and we increase or decrease these values in order to get different snapping values when we're scaling. Here, as we go down to 1, you see that we get a greater scale. So we're going to snap 1 unit. Maybe we're going to snap 10 units as we scale. And it gets very large. We can decrease this to 1 and you see it gets to look something like this. So the default here, 0.25, is usually pretty good. Again, we can turn this off if we don't want to have a snapping for our scale. Just like this. So that is how we can create objects and how we can do some basic manipulation of them. You can play around with some of these other different types of shapes. You can bring in spheres and cones, and you can also experiment with creating things like cameras and lights. So we can create a light, for example, and we can also move this. And here we can see that we now have a light in our scene. We can move it around. So at this point, we've essentially learned how we can create objects and how we can move them, scale them, and rotate them. What you can do if this is the first time you're using Unreal and you want to get used to these tools, after you've finished watching this video, you can try to create a small room using these tools and placing some walls, maybe some basic tables, something like that. That would be a great exercise to learn how to create and manipulate objects, as well as explore some of the other things that we can create, such as likes. But with that being said, that's how we can create objects in Unreal Engine 5. Later, we'll explore some of these other topics like lights and cameras. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.